Hello, my name is Jillian Koehler, and I chose to go into the field of funeral directory because I feel that I can relate to people on a personal level. In my own experience, I came from a very large family, and as a result, I have experienced many different types of loss. Another reason I went into the field of funeral directory was because I was intrigued by the way that the funeral directors I knew portrayed themselves at funerals. They are always very calm and welcoming, which made it much easier for families to come together when they had their differences and still be able to sit down and go through the procedures that they needed to in order to safely see their loved one off for the conclusion of their life. Personally, I went into the field of funeral directory because I wanted the chance to experience a profession that many people overlook for various reasons. When I was looking into the field of funeral directory as a prospective job, I was in high school and many of my high school professors encouraged me to pursue it. They seemed to believe that someone who was very compassionate could do well in helping grieving families as well as other aspects of funeral directory. I feel that I can make a difference in funeral service by helping and aiding the families who come to our establishment. I personally believe that by helping them and showing an organized front, you really do make it much easier on the family to go through the process of loss. I also believe that it is possible for an individual funeral director to make a good name for all funeral directors by showing that they're calm, collected, know how to deal with all of the aspects, and by encouraging, or rather discouraging, the common belief of the creepy funeral director who likes to hide behind doors and rub his hands together and check your pulse when he shakes your hand. I personally believe that we can get away from that stereotype very easily if we simply go out and show people that we are compassionate and that we do want to be involved in our communities and in their lives. In today's world, I believe that you have to be more than strong and compassionate to be a funeral director. In order to be a good funeral director and satisfy your families, you have to be incredibly resourceful. When something goes wrong in a funeral, you don't have time to hit pause and fix it. You need a plan A, B, and C, basically. The funeral will still go off without a hitch because you had all your bases covered. In today's market, funeral directors have to be incredibly flexible with the needs and desires of families. If a family wants something out of the ordinary, there's no reason you can't give it to them within reason. Just because a family gives you a request that's outside of the norm, it doesn't mean that you can't fulfill it. It simply means that you need to try harder to implicate and or aid them in getting the desired feel that they want for the funeral. The characteristic of flexibility also implies that when things go wrong, you can't get bent out of shape. If a family makes a request of you, even if they're the ones who wanted something put up the way you did, and they decide that they don't like it, well, that's okay. There's no need to get upset. Just move on, roll with it, do what you can, make the family happy. So in a sense, what I'm saying is funeral directors have to be very resilient and well-tempered. I believe that extraordinary funeral service starts with personalization and cannot be complete unless the funeral director is actively involved throughout the entire duration of the time the family is in your care and slightly beyond. In order to do this, you simply need to ask questions of the family. What do they want around their loved one? What would make the room more comfortable? Is the temperature off? If so, all you have to do is make minor adjustments, and just those simple adjustments can make the difference between a good memory and one that's lacking. The role of the funeral director can be very complex in many grief responses. However, it is important to always remember that when dealing with the family, no matter how it turns out or what goes wrong, you should always ask yourself what you can do to make the funeral more memorable for the families you serve.